It's just a locked door, but nobody knows how to lock a door like a government security agent.
I am not going to move from this spot because the game tends to bug out if I do. We need to unlock the door from here.
That worked.
And then move straight in. Because if you move from that spot, then for some reason you cannot enter through this door. This is most likely going to be another short video, as we're going to have a bit of an information dump.
The hush of privacy clings to this room, as if the dedicated occupant has worked there, sweated there, worried there for a long time. There's the couch, the worn leather chair. Even the computer seems to have taken on his personality. A standard number 2 pencil. Jean Saint-Mouchoir's computer, where his daily working caseload is stored, as well as classified transgressions records, an operations investigations database, and some personal notes, too.
Well, it's nice to know that they still use paper in this day and age. Now we need to employ an old adventure game trope. God's justice. Alright, we need to access the computer. There are only 2 characters that have FMV sequences filmed for this game. We've already seen one. It's time to see the second character. And this one is played by Jeffrey Holder. Please enter access code. Now, they didn't exactly go all out with the FMV sequences for this part of the game, but Jeffrey Holder's voice acting is rather delightful, so sit back and enjoy.
The Holy Trio, Belial, Beelzebub, and Mephistopheles. The demons continue to trouble me, especially the unholy triumvirate, Belial, Beelzebub, and Mephistopheles. I realize, of course, that the hand cannot eradicate supernatural immortal beings. They are all a part of God's plan, the plan that Solaks enact here on earth. So according to the Imperator's direction, we condemn people to serve under these hell laws. We send them to their lairs to serve their sentence. Pazuzu and Asmodeus, I made a run with a squad of rookies today, and we caught a blatant sinner, a man who has been haunting the Ford Theater area, exhibiting himself. We had to let him go. Seems he worked for Asmodeus. We are never supposed to prosecute people involved with the Hell Syndicate. Asmodeus, the demon filmmaker. Or Pazuzu, a.k.a. Mr. Beautiful, gambler, drug dealer, wise guy. Don't know why we can't persecute these guys. Besides the fact that they are actually demons, and we probably can't catch them if we wanted to. They must fit into the plan somehow. Mr. Beautiful. Captain Thorne decided to use Beautiful to complete the case we were building against the Smoke Cowboys, a gang of technology outlaws. I had a scrub team arrest the Cowboys. We charged them with violating the artificial realities ban, and Beautiful supplied the judge with all the evidence we needed to send the Cowboys to Belial's pits. Ha ha. Dean Sterling. Some of the men are suspicious about a freelance demon hunter we are monitoring. His name is Dean Sterling. He has been having some real success. He eliminated a score of minor and mid-level demons. And now we hear he's after the big ones. Asmodeus, Beautiful, any of them that are brazen enough to walk the earth. It is understood in the department that some of the demons are untouchable, but Sterling has the freedom to choose his target at will. As for me, I will neither hinder or assist Mr. Sterling. He has made his presence felt, and the demons are nervous about him. As far as I'm concerned, he's a genuine good guy.
Right, so this one needs a password. It's based on a combination of two words, with the first two letters of each word deleted. This one is fairly easy to work out. It is Foggy Bottom. I wasn't sure that this text would come up, but we have worked it out already.
Senator Aaron Burr. I just received this month's collection of Senator Burr's sighting from our agents in the field. Amazing woman. Amazing woman, this Burr. She's seemingly several places at once. Of course we know she's inside the British Embassy here in Washington, where she has been granted political refuge. But we have discovered that there are ways in and out of the embassy. And on several occasions, Burr has escaped the embassy, thus feeding the paranoia among ARC agents that she is everywhere. The Citizens Freedom Front. The recent sweep of the CFF shadow government leaves the so-called Freedom Front effectively crippled. The CFF has been fanatically dedicated to their cause. Our best estimate of their membership is in the thousands, although the leadership proper is small and cohesive. CFF history. What we know about the CFF is extensive, but not particularly useful. They were founded after the Imperator's ascension by a quartet consisting of a Methodist minister, a Catholic priest, a rabbi, and a Muslim imam. They quickly moved into political activity when they were joined by former government figures, including Aaron Burr, who had resigned rather than serve under the hand.
Again, we need to make two words out of these letters, and it's missing the first two letters of each word. And this one is Help It.
Night of the Titans. Transgressions recently launched dozens of scrub teams on a coordinated sweep of the CFF shadow cabinet. A strike against the resistance that has been over a year in the making. Codename Night of the Titans. It's a truly historical occasion. Randall Singh. Probably the most interesting figure we have nailed to our sweep operation from a front operative we have been keeping under close observation for a while now. A man named Randall Singh. I'm not certain of his status with the CFF, but we suspected him of being fairly important. Townsend Ellers. The sweep of the CFF shadow cabinet also netted Townsend Ellers, a former British ambassador. We believe he has been helping Burr to establish a diplomatic corps in waiting and has been consulting her on world economic matters as well. We suspect he has been a regular conduit between Burr and foreign governments concerning efforts to apply international pressure on the Hand. Brett Carew. Perhaps the only dissident whose apprehension I regretted was Brett Carew's. Carew is one of the 3 or 4 writers Solox has banned, and she has been apprehended in the recent CFF sweep. The charges against her are weak, just rumors that she writes some of Senator Burr's pirate broadcasts. Eddie Commerce! I confess I do not get the joke. Melissa and I saw Commerce perform years ago, when he was legal. I do not find this man to be funny, much less someone capable of being a subversive figure. The filthy language of personal attack against the Imperator, the monologues about free expression. I thought it a mistake to include him in the recent crackdown. Arrests like these only risk making martyrs of people who pose no threat to the Hand.
At this point in time, we do not know the actual, I was going to say words. Well, obviously the words, but I believe this is a name of a person. I do know the name, and even if I did enter it right now, we would be denied from accessing the system. So we will come back to this one later.
Massimo Eddy. Last night there was another Massimo Eddy broadcast, another vision of hell. Massimo is the first man who was damned to hell and lived to tell of his experience. There was Eddy, paint splashed on his face, ranting about his trip to hell, bursting into sudden screams of the colors. Then, ooh, fire! All is aflame! All is aflame! Ooh! He would speak, and the demons that possesses him would taunt him from within. Ooh! From within, a terribly frightening exhibit that reminds viewers what there is to fear about hell. Periodically, the Hand drags him out to broadcast his bizarre visions to the nation. He has developed a cult following of people expecting wisdom from the mad Massimo. I fear those people will be disappointed. I doubt this lost soul has anything to teach.
Transgressions credentials required to obtain location of Massimo Eddy from Bureau of Records. I don't believe that I know this one either. Again, we may have to come back to this one.
ARC. Reality Containment was outraged after 2 of its agents were targeted in the latest scrub team action. I don't know what the executives in the Five Fingers had in mind when they include Gideon Ashanti and Rachel Brack on the scrub list. There were ways of making them disappear without setting ARC and transgressions at odds with one another. The question remains, why? What were Ashanti and Brack involved in that demanded that they be eliminated in such a high-profile fashion? Rumors are that the order to kill them came directly from the Imperator. Rachel Brack and Gideon Ashanti. Looking through the backfiles today, I found one I had on Brack and Ashanti. I had forgotten, but it seemed I'd tried to recruit them myself a couple of years ago when I heard about the great job they were doing at ARC. But to outduel the scrub team, they were obviously more talented than any of us realized. Their work at ARC was top-notch, even though they had a reputation of going easy on minor criminals. Still, their character was somewhat questionable.
Another access code, and this one is a name that we have heard before, and that is Dean Sterling. Ooh.
Neo-Gnostic. In ancient times, the Gnostics were heretical sects whose beliefs were at odds with early Christianity. They believed that human transcendence were directly achievable. The Neos may be just one more group of cyberspace outlaws with designs on founding virtual colonies in the global net. If the latter is true, transgression will scrub them. We may do that in any event if the need for a high-profile bust arises.
Aha, we have a new location to visit.
Psionic League. Of the dozens of illegal operations we monitor, the Psionic League is the most dangerous threat to stability, especially if the leader, Columbus Pistola, should ever decide to politicize his organization. The League has been tolerated at this point because it is the inspiration for similar groups. No one better knows the danger of unrestrained psionic ability than Spatola. He's one of the most powerful psionics on the planet. His life is a case study of the hardships that psionics endure when forced to master their abilities alone. His early hardships led to the founding of the League, and his near-fanatical belief in the benevolent use of the power.
Another location unlocked.
Estratology Incorporated. Recent intelligence reveals that Hercule Rudecoeur and his researchers are no closer to learning any of hell's essential secrets. Decoeur serves his purpose. His obsession with hell, his attempt to map it and to catalog its horror help to maintain the public sphere.
Three locations unlocked. We will most likely visit them in succession.
Meats. Data from reality container shows an increase in illegal attempts to reproduce the human tissue lab of new corporeals biologics. Officially named service units, New Corp's infamous products are widely referred to as meats. Meats epitomize the relentless perversion of God's creations of human hands. As so with many nightmares, it all started with good intentions. The goal of providing servant machines for the masses was lofty and laudable. But when the meats were introduced into the market, the public was outraged. The meats were twisted parodies of humanity, flesh without souls. Within 6 months, the meats were a moral scandal. When several developed cancer, it was more cost-effective for New Corporeal to discard the entire tissue casing than it was to perform surgery. One hate group began to burn meats in public. The meats were withdrawn from the market and New Corporeals closed. Now, outlaw entrepreneurs seek to revive the technology for use in foreign markets. Such criminal efforts are precisely what transgressions and ARC were formed to combat.
Well, we're making a lot of progress. That's 4 locations. We are almost done here.
We had an inter-office Hola conference call from the Imperator today. The Imperator discussed the recent actions against the CFF. Solux pointed out that the CFF was still operating. The sweep had failed to net Aaron Burr, and that an even greater effort must be made. The entire performance was classic Solux. It reminded me of the Imperator's ascension to power, when Solux would inspire tens of thousands of people at mass rallies, saying things that would make the crowd leap to its feet and roar its devotion. When Solux finally ascended to power, it was as if Earth had become a new planet. People were sick of how society had crumbled into a crime-ridden, godless, free-fire zone. The Hand of God proved an apt name because that was the way Solux promised to administrate justice, as if enacted by the Lord himself, and it has come to pass. When Parallax Entertainment's breakthrough decking technologies permitted the company to create a home entertainment system that provided a direct interface between the user's nervous system and the machine's software, the result was the ActiDeck. ActiDeck programs plunge the users into virtual reality worlds for a price. Anything was possible, but the price proved to be steep. The Parallax ad campaign had claimed that the direct interface between nervous system and circuitry allowed the player to change the machine. What they didn't know or weren't telling was that the machine was changing us. When details of the parallax effect broke, the public outrage was intense. The issue dovetailed perfectly with the Hand of God's plan for seizing power and was a significant tool in their campaign against technology.
I believe that this is the final entry for now.
Parallax Code. The Parallax Code is a highly secret series of computer code modules that made cyberspace a reality. To my knowledge, the source code for Parallax has never been discovered.
Alright, we are done here for now. Either Jeffrey Holder's notes differed from the people making the subtitles, or Jeffrey Holder decided to ad-lib somewhat. Either way, that was quite enjoyable. Now let's head towards a new location, and we're going to go to Capital South. Now, how south is it? Fairly south. I say how south is it when I started looking towards the north. Anyway, let's move on.